Good morning, this is Kara with the Ministry of Uncovering No More. I had a first today as an artist. I used watercolors on a coloring page. This is chalk. I'm going to have to gently spray it. But my point is, I was testing, see this paper, and it does take a slight amount of water. So it looks like I'm going to be able to carefully use colored pencil. I'm using, with this coloring book, I'm using these Faber-Castell. These actually can mix with oil and paint, but I would probably keep going with that sort of sketching using these pencils with oil on an actual, not quite canvas. It can't be this kind of paper because this is primarily pencil. You can't apply water. It can't be this kind of books paper because this is very thin and is primarily for pen, tapes. You can do a little chalk, and pencil, lots of pencil. Okay, I'll show you. I have some beautiful artwork here, and this one I'm pleased with. This was my last piece, and this is all colored pencil, some gel pen, and pens and stickers. So this I created. Since there's still some, I'll show you this. Since there's still some pain in my family's life, Father's Day, if you'll notice, my penmanship is not as pleasing, but I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to put an entire tapestry here. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm going to use Prismacolor for that. I won't even use these pens. There's something about pencils that is of another time. And my father began as a draftsman and then ended up in the IT world, in the chip industry. And I need to tap back to my father and our faithfulness right now. As I said, there's some pain in my family. And you can tell, do you see that? Do you see? I went to a more basic penmanship. I was not in pain here for some reason. And do you see, I was able to use fancier and get real creative. When I can't do that because of pain in my own life, my whole family is beautiful to me. I go to this, and you see there's lines, and I go in shapes, and so that can fill this. And it makes me sad that my handwriting tells my emotions. It makes me sad because I want to control my emotions and be able to write happy all the time. And see, I have to forgive myself because I feel, but I have to forgive other people because I feel like people across my life have required me to put on a happy face and never have seen my pain, actually. And the reason for that is because of the teaching in the Christian church. You're required to stuff your anger issues. From all the way from a child in the pew and in the Sunday school to today, when I'm 55, no longer a Christian, hate the word Christian, am a pagan, and completely misunderstood by everyone. This is going on YouTube. That's my cat. I was supposed to water the yard today, and so I have blessing because it rained. And this actual coloring book and this video is going to go on a website specifically for coloring for my family. And so, and I also am going to put this video in a story about Edith Renee that I have already placed on another website blog, because part of the reason that I have pain in my life is because of the pain in Edith's life, because of what her family has done for the past 13 years that demonized not only her beautiful ministry, but mine as her mother. And I still have issues in my life. I still have people threatening me and stuff, and they don't even want to recognize it, but it's not Edith. Edith would always come in and just help where I patiently explained it, but she's hurt enough that she's had to completely disconnect from her family, and I'm having to do the same thing a different way and try not to hurt anybody, because I'm tired of being persecuted for my life story. And I'm tired of people choosing to say things to me that are not nourishing me. That's bullying in its most primal form, when nobody looks at the larger picture. They just come in and tell you what to do, chew you out, and walk out, assuming that they understand the whole situation. And I've had tons of people do that to me, even my parents. My parents never had time for me, America. They were too busy obeying the Word of God, stuffed down their throats and up their asses by the Christian church. It doesn't take away from their faithfulness, but I can give you one damn perspective. It does increase my mourning, mourning, every day. What I've lost because of the testimony I am, that is beautiful. I have people in my life who have never hurt me, who are standing with me here and giving me courage to start over. I'm thankful for them. It's men like me as a girl. They're very strong, and I need their strength. And that's all I can tell you right now, because they are in charge of bringing us forth. But if we have to stay quietly as we are, they know I'm here. They know that they can show up on my doorstep. Take one look at me and I will welcome them in from the rain. I see rain, cold rain, in a man's eyes that are desperate. And I will just sit them down at my table and feed them what they need. And it's probably complete silence, a cup of coffee, and gently me sitting down and coloring in one of my books is probably what they need, because they've got to think this through. I'm doing it for my youngest son right now. I've done it for each and every one of my family members. They don't see my ministry, but my son does, actually, and helps other people understand me better. He does that on a regular basis. Let me show you his book, shall I? Because it's in the same place that, well, let me put this book back. This one stays. This one stays, but it may travel, actually. I think this one's going to travel. This one stays. So I'll put it here because it is most important. Oh. Now, the coloring book I'm about to show you from this dear son, this one's mine, and it's colored pencil and ink, and other pencil. Let me show you. This one's mine. It's moons. I'm coloring moons because I'm a representation of the moon boys. So I speak as myself, the moon, in this one. I incorporate the sun into it, light of the world, And that's the bright morning star, but it's also morning star, which is Luciferian. Because we are not understood at all. We are not understood at all. I'll bring runestones into this. See 7 devils. You know, there are reasons why the King of Kings said, "Get behind me, Satan." Okay. In the gospel record. So these are moons where the sun and I are, see, I fly to the moon together. This is a phoenix. That's a goose, actually. Yeah, here's where and you see, a lot of times with runestones, they're very, very ancient, very beautiful. You have to be very careful, very powerful. There's my kitty. She stays with me constantly at the house. Sleeps with me in my bed. She's just there. Everybody kind of makes fun of her because she's timid. And see, that could be Edith under my desk, because Edith is tragedy like through her mother. And her timidity is not nourished at all in our life story. At all. And it's not my fault. And if she thinks it is, I forgive her. Because I've never been nurtured in a 55-year life. And my children need to get a grip on that, because you're not nurturing me with some of the things you're saying and doing. You're still scaring me. And I think, you know I forgive you, but you need to focus on the full journey. So these are moons. Here's the next one. And so, see, so I have everything I need. So that's mine. Before I show you my son's, because my son's has beautiful quotes from like the Dalai Lama and whatnot. And this is Robert Abrams. Okay. And just listen to this. The measure of a society is its compassion. And this was Kristen Hanna, Summer Island. Okay. So I colored this. Now this one is taking my breath away. I asked Edward, what is your favorite color? And he said automatically purple. And this is Orhan Pamuk. The beauty and mystery of this world only emerges through affection, attention, interest, and compassion. That is Orhan Pamuk, and my name is Red. And I'm coloring this. And this book is pen and pencil. Now, I did some colors here, and I'm not going to do that again. I did some paint, I think. And this is for colored pencil and ink. I'm looking forward to doing the next one. Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. That's the Dalai Lama. And that's what I get to color. And so I use a lot of Prismacolor for that, more than these other pencils that you, watercolors and oil colors. I use Prismacolor. Praying these are very good. You're going to use up a lot of colored pencils, so they need to be they need to be affordable, mid-range affordable for me. Going to pieces without falling apart. I just, in compassion, tweeted, because people have a hard time understanding how I love people and yet I see the wickedness. And I just tweeted earlier today, or last night, I think it was last night. I was in a place and I just released, and I'm getting some kickback from a black person on Twitter. I just released an article from that Duty to the number 2 Warren released an article about Bill Barr, and so I'm going to do some artwork in the sketchbook. I've done some for Jeff Tiedrick in this book, the sketchbook that I showed you. And I'm going to start using it for these gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen who are very accurate in voice and produce beautiful art for them, because their lives are beautiful and everybody's hating on them in the media. So I showed you how I'm learning to use different medium in different books. It brought me great pleasure for Edith that I could do this, and it's so beautiful, and all I have to do now is a little bit of spray and it's done. And it brings me great pleasure for her, and I remember her beautiful life and that she's continuing eternally with. I'm obviously in some pain, so I bunny trailed. I was telling you something. Well, I wasn't supposed to complete that thought. Then you get to think about it. You get to think about whatever I was saying. How would you conclude it? I think Americans have a really great problem. They try to conclude things for everyone, and that's control, sweethearts. You have no right in a 55-year life to conclude any thought of mine. I have every right to tell you my conclusions as an artist, a sorceress, and a beautiful woman who has accepted you. But the girl side of me, in all capitals, #girl, doesn't accept some of you. I watch what you do to people. I watch how you don't nurture them. You are no more loving your neighbor than I am hating you. That's what it was. I don't hate Donald Trump, but I wish I could. So I gave him a little love, because it's so sickening how he's behaving. His whole family. All their money and power is anathema to me. But I obey my Father at all times in the words he spoke to me my whole life, even though he turned slightly on me, against me, at the end of his life. And what he told me in September of 2008, standing in the doorway of a house he built himself with his brother, he said, Kara, do not ever forget that we war not with flesh and blood, but with powers and principalities. Well, it's not anybody's business that Lucifer, Morningstar, and I know how to kick ass. And Satan can be either male or female, let me tell you. So, I would guess that you might better understand the fairy tale and reality of this YouTube as much as the Bible is made this way in writing by authors who suffered for the fact that their work is there, number one. And number two, understand that it's not really fairy tale. I'll call it that so that you don't persecute me anymore. Or my daughter. Or Lucifer Morningstar. The one I'm talking about. Let me tell you something. I'm Lucifer, spinning tails. Did you hear me jump to the other side of the mirror? I didn't say fey tails. I perfectly, without even trying, said tay fails. Just like Edith, as a child with pretty severe dyslexia growing up, called watermelon melon water, and smiled at herself as we gently laughed because we love our dyslexic ways, she and I. We don't have a problem with our dyslexia. Bullies think it's funny and needle us constantly. You didn't win with my daughter, and you sure as hell ain't winning with me, America. So I told Donald Trump therefore I told the entire fucking Republican Party. One thing, one tweet last night, and you can get the hell out of my narrative for the rest of my life, because I have loved you even as Christ loves the church. Bitch, Republican Party, evangelicals. I told them it would do well with their soul to become Buddhists at this point. They're so wicked. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well. It is well with my soul.